The next and diagnostically critical consideration turns to the issue of soma's natural environments, because a plant's preferred habitat can often help to eliminate a number of unlikely botanical possibilities. We assume that we are dealing with environments that are found among the valleys and plains of the land of the 5 rivers, the Punjab, because this is where members of the Vedic pantheon and priest guilds sought and acquired their immortality by drinking the elixir of immortality. That would place us in the modern states of Kashmir and Jammu of northwest India and borderlands of neighboring Pakistan, where the region's 5 major river systems unite and create the renowned Indus River. It is widely agreed by most mythologists and translators that Soma was a mountain plant, because a number of refrains locate the Soma plant among the mountains of northern India. But here's a twist. Plants that occupy the crests of mountains in the Punjab generally share no direct ecological relationships with plants that live and thrive in riverine valleys or plains of the Punjab, whereupon the vast majority of habitat-related references in the Vedas, perhaps over 95% of them, place the source of Soma plants and Soma stems. Over and over again, Soma is identified as a child of the waters, an apam napat, which suggests a shoreline plant that would live in muddy substrates on the banks of rivers and lakes. We know that this child of the waters expression does not relate in a general way to rain from the skies during India's monsoonal seasons, because Soma was a newborn child in Vedic mythology that is described specifically as a child of the Sindhu River, the Indus River. And his upright reed-like stems, arrow-like stems, arising in multitudes, fit pretty comfortably into an environment of such type. Moreover, the name of the Indus River itself derives from the Sanskrit term Indu, one of many titles of the plant god Soma, the word meaning literally a drop, an Indu, of liquid that opened the mind of the Aryans. And Soma, as an apam, napat, child of the waters, is said to grow within various water features of the Punjab, notably within a stream's wave, as many translators state the case, although I think the term wave should be probably translated as current. It appears that the plant was harvested, in fact, from riverbanks, as suggested by many and various refrains of the Rig Veda, such as the following passages. There are many. Down to the stream a maiden came, and found the Soma by the way. Or, in the stream's wave, wise Soma dwells. Wave, as I say, I believe to mean current, because oftentimes this term stream is related to bodies of water on land. Or, in a hymn dedicated specifically to Soma Pavamana, specifically the second verse of hymn 54, it says, in aspect Soma is like the sun. He runs forth to the lakes. Such references, and there are many, clearly discount the popular notion that the so-called streams in which Soma is born refer to trickling streams of sap from the plant's pressed stems. This has been suggested by many translators and interpreters of the Vedas, but it makes little sense. The streams refer to flowing bodies of water in the Punjab, not to trickles from a mortar and pestle. And to reiterate, aquatic plants that grow in muddy or shallow waters along the banks of rivers, streams, and lakes are rarely, if ever, to be found on mountain slopes. Or if they do, on the lower slopes, do occur, they certainly are not found among mountain ridges and summits. This is not where you find aquatic plants. Now, this does introduce a glaring inconsistency in Vedic verses, which I must consider. For it is true that some hymns do explicitly place the plant on a mountain's fleecy ridge. However, these references may well represent metaphorical allusions, for reasons that will be explained in detail in our discussions on classical Hindu mythology, which often allude to the divine plant as a mythic mountain, specifically, or as growing from rivers on the world mountain of the Vedic pantheon. To support my insistence that Soma was an aquatic plant, more than a few Vedic scriptures identify Soma's Vedic mothers, cosmic mothers, as personified riverine goddesses of the Punjab. These goddesses are mentioned individually or as a group in Vedic verses. The most important of these goddesses, Sarasvati, which the Vedas regard as the mightiest and most divine of streams, was exalted because it was a source of the nectar of immortality, the Amrita, the sap of Soma, and the Sarasvati was a famous site on which Soma sacrifices were performed by Vedic singers. Rig Vedic verses dedicated specifically to the goddess Sarasvati, proclaim, for example, "Waters of wealth, you control all treasures," this in reference to Soma. "You bring auspicious intellect and the Amrita. You are the queen of riches, Sarasvati. Give full life to the chanter." Or in the Samaveda, we hear, "Sarasvati, the all-encircling goddess, milks out clarified butter and the sweet moon plant juice." The moon plant being a direct reference to Soma. While the white Yajurveda states, while personifying the river as a goddess, "That breast of yours, exhaustless, fountain of pleasure, wealth giver, treasure finder, free bestower, with which you rear all things that are choicest, bring that, Sarasvati, that we, the priests, may drain it." In the Samaveda, Soma bounds as well in Lake Saryanavat, the name of the lake meaning lake of arrows, because Soma has the aspect of an arrow. Or as well on river banks. For again, to quote the Atharva Veda, we hear, "I saw the drop." Dropsum is a term for Soma. "I saw the drop in the far distance moving on the sloping bank of the Amshumati's river. The drop in Amshumati's bosom, splendid with light, assumed its proper body." The Amshumati River means literally the river that possesses Amshu, Soma stems. And other hymns of the Rig Veda identify the plant as the king, the Raja of rivers. So I am convinced, as a seasoned botanical explorer of Asian floras, that Soma was an obligatory aquatic plant.